e-commerce suppliers, a lot of them are offering services instead of products. That's a, and that is because I think basically because it's cheaper to start to initiate a startup which offers services instead of products, because in products you have to either have a very strong supply chain that you get supplies as soon as you require them, or you hold an inventory of products, which of course has a cost. So for a startup business, it's very important. It's normally difficult to hold inventories because it needs money. Your money gets stuck. You startups always have lesser money unless they get investment. And nowadays, to get investments, it is very important that you uh, because you can get that seed money or pre-startup financing, but most financing in startups is done after you start your business. You take it to a certain level and then show the investor that this, yes, my business is running. I have my business model is tried and tested, and I want to expand. I want to scale up my business, so I need more money for that. So in order to reach that stage, even it is important that your supply chains are very good, because of course the same two things, the cost and timing are very important. You have to have a good quality product. You have to have it in time ready, and it's very important that you get it at the right cost. So for startups, pay attention to this from day one. Start to nurture your relationships with your suppliers and your buyers also, and make sure even if you don't make profits, or you make losses for the first few months or first few years, it's more important to develop relationships to penetrate markets than to make profits in the first few years. So once they've done that, they've developed relationships with their suppliers and their buyers, and they've managed to get a certain brand equity of their products, and they've earned loyal customers, then their growth can be unlimited. So one of my friends is basically I don't know if you've heard the name of Oladoc. It's a company which connects doctors with patients. It's one of the largest. It's become huge, mashallah. He's Abid Zubairi is his name. He's a great entrepreneur. I often go to him for advice. So what he's done is he's worked on his marketing. He's worked on his supply chain. In that case, its supply chain is talking to your doctors and marketing your product to your to patients who want to connect. He's also started some other things also, but his main revenue stream is still connecting doctors with patients and getting some share of their appointment fee. So he's mashallah done very well. He's grown exponentially. So I was talking to him 2 weeks back, I think, and I told him, you're making so much profit. You don't have many. Your costs are not too high. So how come you're still not making profits? So he said, if I want to make profit at this moment, it's very easy for me. I just scale down my marketing and I'll get very handsome profits. But if I want to grow exponentially, like 10 times by next year, so if I cut down my marketing budgets, what will happen is my growth would probably be 10%, 20% for the next year. But I'm a startup. I still have a lot to cover. So it is very important for me to spend more on marketing, book losses now, and then grow it exponentially to probably 10 times by next year. So he is giving up his present profits in hope and in anticipation of much higher profits in future. So that vision should be there, that longer term vision, which is a little missing from the Pakistani startup founders and investors also. Yes. If you get investment from local founders, they probably have not still realized that when they invest in startups, the profits could be after probably 5 years or 10 years down the lane. So foreign, they've gone through this, they have more experience in this, and slowly that thought process is coming in the local market, the local startup landscape also. But it's important to realize that startup is all about growth and some profitability and growth. Amazon, for example, was not in profits for many years. Its valuation was huge. Because valuation, if you know from finance, it's basically based on the future expected cash flows. So they had huge valuations. Its founders were probably they were a few the richest people in the world, but they were not still in profits, or they were making very little profits. So the purpose was that they were spending all on marketing. So talking about supply chain, Amazon, for instance, it's all about their supply chains. If you talk about some other the big retail chains, it's all about supply chains. Even even if it's not retail, it's anything. If it's services also, supply chain, probably supply chain. But the example which I gave you, it's the supply chain of services from doctors and relationships with patients. So it is of course very important, and they have to realize that as soon as they start their business.